On the evening of Sunday, July the 3rd, 2022, during the opening ceremony of the 43rd regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community CARICOM held in Suriname, our Dame Billie Miller was conferred the Order of CARICOM in recognition of her political, social, and cultural metamorphoses of Caribbean society.
It is with great pleasure that the Caribbean community confers on Dame Billie Miller its highest award, the Order of the Caribbean Community. Let us all join in expressing our congratulations to Dame Billie Miller. Thank you.
Receiving the award on behalf of Dame Billie Miller was Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Dr. the Most Honorable Jerome Walcott.
Thank you. Okay, please. I'm delighted on behalf of Dame Billie Miller to receive this honor on her behalf. I don't have to say much. You've heard it all. She's been a tremendous influence, not only the Prime Minister, but also on me in Barbados, and certainly on a number of us in Barbadian politics. She believes in CARICOM unity, and it is indeed an honor this evening to receive this on her behalf. I thank you all.
Congratulations. Dame Billie now carries the title the Honorable and the Post-Nominal OCC. This new title is reflected in this series. It was perhaps the most dreadful news in a post-independent Barbados. On the afternoon of Monday, March the 11th, 1985, the news broke on our radio stations that Prime Minister Tom Adams had died. Dame Billie Miller walks us through the events immediately following that announcement and her role as the individual responsible for the state funeral. But how does she describe that sad news?
That was the most shattering thing. We were in a cabinet, and the cabinet secretary then was Mr. Oh dear, yes, Frank Blackman. And Tom was hardly ever late. I'm never late. Lateness for me is a form of gross discourtesy, and I do my best not to be late. I'll be an hour early rather than be late, and I often am an hour early rather than be late. And we are sitting there in the cabinet, you know, cabinet papers in front of us, and we're waiting for Prime Minister to come. We all stand, good morning Prime Minister, and so on. I think we may be more respectful in our time than this new lot, but I don't know, well, post our time. Anyhow, Cabinet Secretary comes in and he says, "Lady and gentlemen of the Cabinet, I regret to inform you that Prime Minister Tom Adams has died." We were all in shock, total shock. Nobody knew what to do. Henry Ford and Bernard St. John looked at each other, and Tom had made Bernard St. John his deputy. Oinatha had made me his deputy.
Dame Billie continues by speaking of the cabinet secretary as he broke that news.
He rushed off to go to Ilara Court, and people got up, went outside on the veranda. People didn't know what to do. It was like we were in zombie land. that I called Owen Arthur aside. I told him, a lot of things are going to change now. A lot of things are going to change. And you're going to have to make up your mind. Because at that time, he did a lot of work in the Ministry of Planning before he came in to the cabinet. I took him outside and, we were standing up just like this and thing like this, and I said to him, so much is going to change now. And then we had to go up to Ilara Court. It was night time and the whole cabinet had to go up there. And it broke my heart. This is going to be a difficult part. We went into one of the big rooms there at Ilara Court. And I saw Dr. Cato, who delivered me at my birth. He was head in the Senate then, I think. And he delivered all of my mother's 7 children. We lost only one sister. Pneumonia got her. But I saw him, and Dr. Cato, for us, he was our doctor. And I went over to him. Bernard St. John was standing up across from me, and I said, St. John, Tom really dead? And Dr. Cato came to me and he put his hand on my shoulder. And he said, my dear, do not question God. There are more people in Barbados who are truly deeply religious than you would know by looking, including some who got a pulpit and a whole church, but you can't see. And I just took him at his word. I just took him at his word. Then I faced the fact that everything was going to change. And it did.
Dame Billie Miller was given the responsibility of organizing the state funeral. In a television interview televised March 1985, she revealed those plans.
Well, the funeral arrangements are, I think, progressing as we have planned. I have had, and I must say this at the beginning, I have had the highest level of cooperation from the Barbados Defence Force under Brigadier Lewis and the Royal Barbados Police Force under Commissioner Durant, the Cabinet Secretary and the people who work in the Cabinet Office, the Dean of St. Michael's Cathedral, and all those concerned. The truth is that we've had cooperation at every level. Everyone's working way beyond the call of duty. Everyone's pulling out all of the stops. And I do believe that the arrangements are going as well as we hoped.
BDF people and, that sort of thing. I said, I have spoken to his widow, and my instructions are that he is to be churched at St. Michael's Cathedral. I have already walked it. I've been to church in there a few times with my godmother, or one of them, and I don't have a problem with it. I got to be very careful what I say. Not everything I say you can run with.
And of course, the wisdom of Dame Billie was taken to heart. We did not run with everything she shared with us.
I went and I spoke to Genevieve, his widow, and ask her to show me his favorite music, the records that he liked best, because the music was very important for me. And then what was it? What was the other thing? I went to see his mother, who I knew exceedingly well. She was like an aunt in a way, almost. And she said to me, Billie, I don't want any bright colored flowers. I want funereal flowers. I said, very well, Lady Adams, you shall have it. And so I was very much engaged then with flower arranging, but Japanese flower arranging. It's beautiful, you know, just a few pieces. I don't do it anymore now. So I called up the flower people who are now my friends, and I said, ladies, you got to help me now read the flowers. Let's meet. They came up to the ministry, and I said, this is what I want to do. I have a little bit of a difficulty. Lady Adams wants only funereal looking flowers. Lilacs, white. That would be the choice I would want for myself as well. But the widow now, Genevieve, she said, oh, I want a riot of colors, because Tom was a gardening man. Huh? A lot of people don't know that. Oh, she wants reds and yellows, and she wants it just a riot of color. I said, okay, fix that. And then I had another meeting with my group. I said, ladies, only between ourselves. This cannot go anywhere else. I am going to organize it so that, by definition, the widow has to sit close up to the front. Lady Adams will sit also, but on the other side. She will come in through the side entrance, and she will go up and she'll be sitting on that side. So how we are going to decorate the church is that all the righteous colors will be toward the left. Lady Adams is still going to be so shaken. We were very close, huh? When she was dying, she called for me. And she said to me, under no circumstances, Billie, must you allow anybody to look at my body when I pass on. I said, Lady Adams, I will carry out your instructions to the letter. The undertaker was so upset. He said, but she looks so good. I said, I gave her my word. She said, I'm an old woman, all wrinkled up and crinkled up. No. I'm of the same view. I've told you, said undertaker already. Get me in the fire fast. I don't want anybody looking at nothing. Anyhow, so it was a hell of a day, that last day. Oh, Lord have mercy. Every minute I'm looking at the grave, and I was the first person who looked at this green carpeting that was becoming popular around here. People put it in verandas and so on. And I said, the one thing I can't stand about funerals is when these big rocks go down the casket. And I said to the undertaker, I want this green stuff, all the stuff you would have taken out of it, cover it with that. And when the flowers come, you put it there. And when everybody has left, then you will do the thing and do the cup. A whole galore, a bunch of people come in, and I have to be in charge of everything. But Oliver helped me a lot with this. The Queen sent her cousin, the Duke of Kent, because, like Tom, he is a lodge man. I gave instructions to the organist, he with the dog. You didn't know the organist at the cathedral? The dog used to be lying down right next to him all the time. Yeah. So I rushed in now looking last minute things and so on, and I see some woman, all the good intentions in the world, watering a can, and she's watering carnations, and I had to run up and said, lady, no, 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 carnations don't like water. No, she was so sorry. Anyhow. Then I determined how I wanted it to be.
And her determination was clearly outlined to then CBC's news anchor, Sharon Marshall, now Dr. Sharon Marshall.
Now, have there been any special preparations for the route along which the funeral procession will travel tomorrow?
Now, the route is well advertised. I think it's been in the press and everyone knows what the route is. The Sanitation Service Authority, under its manager, Mr. Griffith, has been working very hard to clean it up. I'm going to travel it later tonight and again tomorrow and be quite certain that I'm satisfied that it is as we would like to have it. We had a rehearsal today. Brigadier Lewis and Commissioner Durant report to me that it went very well. They're quite satisfied. All the little possibilities for snags have been identified, and I believe that the route will be one that Barbadians will be proud of tomorrow.
It was too far to walk from the Lower Court. So we determined that the cortege would come down and it would stop outside 111 Robert Street, Labour Party headquarters, where I was standing there in the open doorway keeping vigil. That's where Genevieve and her brother had come in from England. Their car brought them there. But when they got there, the whole thing was, and this was coming from Quinton, from the BDF. He says, I would like to see you all walking. I said, I'm with you. Thank you for that one.
Members of Cabinet, honorary pallbearers, Prime Minister Bernard St. John and Opposition Leader Errol Barrow walking behind the gun carriage which bears the body of the late Prime Minister Adams. Genevieve Adams, wife of the late Prime Minister, has joined them on foot, having alighted from her car somewhere along High Street.
People gave me all kinds of tips. I woke up one morning and found a letter under my front door suggesting that at the hour of 4, when the clock struck, I should order every person and vehicle in Barbados to stand in silence. And I did, and it worked. And so it stopped there so that Genevieve and children could get out and, with her brother and so on and walk. And I am just looking at my watch quietly to make sure that we're going to get there before the clock strikes 4 o'clock. And we come in. The casket had gone up in utter silence. The Duke of Kent brought quite a grouping with him, some other Brits. And I am told that the music that was being played at the time, this lady turned to another person who was part of the group that she was with, and she said, "Oh my goodness me, I am listening to the New World in the New World." She was so moved, and I thought to myself, thank God somebody noticed music. Because some of it was classical music, you know, a lot of it was the usual church-type music, but this was, oh, and the organist went to town on it, and it was beautiful. And at least some people appreciated it. And then we had to lower him, take him out and lower him.
They will lower him gently now.
I can't remember who did his eulogy. I can't remember who did his eulogy. But I know I couldn't have done it.
The eulogy was incorporated into the sermon delivered by Dean of the Cathedral, the Very Reverend Harold Critchlaw. Dame Billie presented the second biblical reading.
The second reading is taken from the 20th and the 21st chapters of the book of Revelation. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them, and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. Here endeth second lesson.
But I remember coming home so tired that night, I hardly slept for the week. And there was this man, he was from Grenada, I think, who used to be one of the announcers on. Yes. He was commentating what was going on. And when I got home now, they were playing it again on the news, so I heard it. And he's there describing me as this little slip of a woman. And he was right, because he didn't know, but he said, I don't know when she could have slept for the last 5 days, but that she could have pulled all of this together. I mean, it's just incredible. I smiled. I went fast asleep.
And that photo of Dame Billie Miller keeping vigil quickly became one of the iconic pictures of that week in 1985. Dame Billie Miller on the events that followed the passing of Prime Minister Tom Adams and her role as the one responsible for the state funeral. I'm Sherwood McCaskey. The program continues next week at the same time.